Hello everyone. Now in this session we are going to learn about the data sources and visualizations with the help of Tableau. You know, we use different types of data sources, right? It could be of different file extensions. So how with the help of that we can make a visualization, how you can play around with your data sources. So that's what we are going to learn and understand in this session. So definitely coming into the data sources, the popular data sources used are, we know, Excel sheets, right, Excel files, then we have CSV files. Okay. Now there are certain relational systems that are being used. We have Oracle, then you have SQL servers, then you have DB2. Okay. Now for the cloud systems that are considered, we have Windows Azure, then there is, you know, Google BigQuery, etc. Now coming to the other resources, of course we know ODBC is the other resources. So these are the commonly or popularly used data sources. Okay. Now how do you connect live? We know there are certain options in Tableau, for example connect live. So with the word connect live itself, it is clear that you will get a live update about a particular data source. Okay. So let us see how that runs. The connect live feature is used for real time data analysis. In this case, you know, Tableau connects it to a real time data source and keeps reading the data. Thus, the result of this analysis is up to each and every second. Since it is live, whatever is the latest update, it keeps running and capturing the latest update, and the latest changes are reflected in the results. However, there is a little bit of drawback in this. It burdens the source system as it has to keep sending the data to Tableau. Okay. So this is because you are overloading it. You are for each and every second you are capturing the new data and you are giving it to the Tableau. So each and every minute is being updated. So that could be a bit overloading. Now coming to the data sources. Now there are certain data sources which can be stored in the memory. So what is that? The Tableau can also process data in memory by catching them in memory and not being connected to the source. Okay. There could be data sources which is not, it might be there in the memory, but it is not necessary that it is connected to the source. Okay. So when we are analyzing the data, what can be done is we can basically get into the memory and capture that data. But there is a drawback here. It is not necessary you will get the entire data as it is. There could be a drawback where the data could be limited or the available information would be limited. That means there will be a limit to the amount of data cached depending on the availability of memory. So in the memory, the data which is basically stored, only that we can access. Okay, beyond that we cannot access, or if you are lucky you will be able to access everything. This is the only scenario when your data source is not connected. Okay, remember that. Now combined data sources. In Tableau we can connect the different data sources at the same time. Okay, we can connect the different data sources at the same time. For example, in a single workbook you can connect it to a flat file and a relational source by defining its multiple connections. Okay. So this is used basically for data blending, which is a very unique feature in Tableau. Now what is custom data view? Okay, a custom data view is used to extend the normal data views with some additional features so that the view can give different types of charts for some underlying or same underlying data. Okay, so there is a drill down view which we can have for dimension fields which are a part of your hierarchy. You can usually use drill down to view the result, or usually we need the result for result analysis and basically for the previous level of aggregation. Okay. To drill down and drill up for individual dimension member in a hierarchy, you can right click a table header and select the drill down from the context menu. Now swapping dimensions. From the word swapping itself, it is clear that you can swap the rows or even the variables. or columns. So, to create a view or a new view from an existing view, we can easily swap the positions of the dimensions. So, this does not change the value of measures, but yes, it can change the positions of the measure. So, whatever when you are swapping, remember it will not change the value, but of course, it will change the positions of that particular measure. Now, we will be learning about extracting data. So, data extraction in Tableau basically creates a subset of data from the data source. Now, this is of course helpful in increasing the performance by applying certain filters. Now, it also helps in applying certain features of Tableau to the data, which may not be available in the data source, like finding the distinct values in the data. Now, however, this data extract feature is most frequently used to create an extract to be stored in the local drives whenever the Tableau is offline. Okay. So, you can access this whenever the Tableau is offline. Now, how to create an extract? Basically, you do the extraction of data with the help of menu, where you go to when you go to the menu, you will find data and you can extract data. You can press that button. Now, it creates many options such as applying limits to how many rows to be extracted and whether to aggregate data for dimensions. Now, applying these features, extracting features. To extract a subset of data from the data source, you can create filters which will return only the relevant rows. Okay. Now, how do you add a new data to extract? To add more data for an already created extract, you can definitely go to the option data, extract and append data from the file. In this case, we have to browse the file containing data and click OK to finish. Of course, the number and the data type of the column in the file should be in sync with the existing data. Now, how you can extract an history? You can verify the history of data extracts to be sure about how many times the extract has happened and at what times. So, for this you can go to the menu data and you can find out extract history. Okay. Now, how do you create visualization? Now, after getting the formatting and cleaning of data, which is in certain data cases we need to do it, in certain it might already be clean. The data set is basically completely ready for data visualization. Now, that is the main purpose of Tableau, we know that. So, in Tableau we connect to the database. Now, if there are 3 data files, if you are considering it, you open one of the file, you add next file which contains the order of information, always remember the order of information. Now, then you join the data files together and your visualization is ready. Basically, you have to view it. So, this is how you basically create your visualization with the help of clean data. Now, change the order. How do you change the order in visualization? After creating a visualization in Tableau, of course, we know we can manipulate the order of its field. So, here again you open the Tableau, you connect it to the databases. If there are 3 files, for example, you open one of the file, then you add next file which again contains the same order or the order information. You join the data files. Now, change the order of the file by dragging the columns and rows. Okay, so, how do you change the order? You are basically dragging the rows and columns as per your requirement, and finally, you are viewing your visualization. So, this is how you can change the order. Now, paged workbook. A paged workbook is used to save the view of the data in different pages, or for different values or based on your different measures or dimensions. Now, a common example that we can see is how each type of products has performed against each other in a particular sales region. As each of the values of the product type is stored as a separate page, we can view them one at a time and see its range of values or range of performance. Now, how you can create a paged workbook? You can create a bar chart with 2 dimensions and 1 measure. You can drag the subcategory field again to the page shelf. Now, for automatic display of pages, keep the show history checkbox clicked and ticked, and definitely you can click the play button. So, this is how you can basically create and view your paged workbook. Now, how do you edit the metadata? After connecting to the data source, the Tableau captures the metadata details of the source like columns and rows. Okay. Even the data types are being captured. So, this is used to create the dimensions and measures, which is useful to calculate the fields or basically to view the calculated fields. Now, you can browse the metadata, change some of its property also as per your requirement. Now, how do you check metadata? After connecting to a data source, the Tableau presents all possible tables and columns present in that source. Now, consider clicking, for example, I am giving you an example of sample coffee shop, okay, as a metadata file. You click the data menu and choose it to connect to a data source. Now, you browse from your access file, okay, sample coffee shop. For example, you drag that table named product to that data canvas. Okay. Now, on choosing that particular file, you get the screen which shows the column names and their data type. So, how do you differentiate them? Of course, the string, the data types or numeric data types etc. will come in the symbol hashtag if it is a numeric data type, and if it is a string data type, it will start from A, B, C, D etc. Okay. So, this is how you can differentiate your metadata and check your metadata. With this, I conclude my session. Thank you so much.